Whoa, let's talk Terra Luna Classic really quick. The first thing I want to go ahead and mention is a lot of individuals have said, well, Dan, this seems like a lot of FUD recently from you. No, not at all. Just go and understand that I can have an opinion, but I also do hope for the best. Am I playing in Terra Luna right now, Classic? Yes, I do have skin in the game. I will admit that. So I have skin in the game both ways. I am long, but I am heavily shorter than I am long currently until there's more development. However, it's official. On September 20th, the 1.2% tax burn on transactions is in effect. As you can see, 9 hours ago, everything has been put into place in regards to the code on chain that's going to be pushed, etc. And we already know that the proposal, the proposals, I should say, when it comes to the tax and burn of the 1.2% of all transactions and the distribution as well, which allow for essentially the re-enabling of staking, etc. So one thing that I do want to say is I see a lot of information about, oh my goodness, there's going to be a $1 Luna Classic. There's going to be a 25-cent Luna Classic. Well, you have to understand, and I'm going to quickly put it into perspective for everybody, is that a $1 Luna Classic would equate to $6.1 trillion in actual market cap for Luna. If it literally hits, if it hits that much, it would be 6.1 trillion, which means that it would be 6 times greater than the total market cap of all of crypto, and it would essentially be a little bit more than 1/5 of the US national debt. So let's take $1 off the table. I'm sorry, Moon Boys. Can it happen? Yes, with the 1.2% TX burn, but let me tell you something. There's going to be a lot of burns that need to happen. The way that it will happen is if there are developers that end up going ahead and building dApps on Luna Classic. The only way this is going to survive properly, the community, very strong. I can tell you guys absolutely hate when there's another opinion that goes against the narrative of, hey, this is going to moon. But again, that's expected in the crypto space. I've been here long enough to understand that everybody has an opinion. And the worst part about being platformed like this is that unless it's the opinion you like, then I'm wrong. So again, looking at $1 right now, highly unlikely. Years in the future, yes, only if we can build on chain. Am I going to hold a moon bag? Absolutely. There's Luna that I hold that I will not be selling. Why? Because also the next bull run, you can't forget that everything pumps in a bull, and individuals that make a lot of profits from alts, it'll trickle down back to Terra Luna Classic, just like it does with Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin fork, just like Ethereum Classic, which was the fork of Ethereum because of the literal, it's called the DAO, that was hacked, and majority of the Ethereum supply was hacked with it. So Vitalik forked it. Again, you could look that up. 25 cents would put it at 1.5 trillion. Again, this is pre-burn. This is not burned tokens as well. The reason why I'm holding a moon bag is because, like I keep saying, there needs to be actual builders on here. So if we go on DeFi Llama, we can take a look. All right, DeFi is huge. DeFi essentially commands a chain and how well a chain grows overall, because again, yields that are produced on chain means that more people are developing, thus more liquidity comes onto that chain, etc. Unless it's Bitcoin, which is a store of value. But we're going to take a look at DeFi Llama, go to chains, and I want to show you really quickly. Let me grab it. Right over here, we can see Terra Classic on number 61 slot with 29 different protocols that are still there. However, I don't know if they're currently being worked on and actively developed, but the more this grows, the more people that are, or developers that come onto the Terra Luna Classic chain and keep building, the better it's going to be. So we want to take a look at the TVL, which is this column. TVL is essentially how much money is locked inside of this chain. Across different protocols. We can see Luna Classic has 13.49 million. Remember when you had UST on here? This used to be in the billions of dollars, but of course we know exactly what happened. That was a DeFi protocol. So this counted towards all of its protocols. So if we go to Terra Classic and just take a look, you can see obviously what happened. There was over 21 billion, and this dictates so much. And a lot of people don't realize this is how important and how impactful the DeFi space in totality is. What's this pop up? How important in totality DeFi is for the health of a particular chain. Now let's take a look at Luna Classic, right? If we just go to all and we can see all time, we can see the growth is literally one-to-one with DeFi. Again, this is how much money is locked in on the chain through different protocols. And as we can see, we're in the $20 billion TVL, which was one of the absolute biggest chains for chain dominance with DeFi. And again, look at the one-to-one comparison. Even this little dip in let's just see, where is this? Around April or so. If we just take a look back also, January, March, April, we take a look at 4, we can see this dip happened as well. So there's a direct correlation to individuals building in the DeFi space, where essentially DeFi is where algorithmic stablecoins are created, where yield aggregators are created, DEXs are created. Everything is centered around DeFi, whether individuals like it or not. Even for gaming, let's just say developers start building games on Luna Classic. The whole thing is you need an oracle. Oracles are essentially the backbone of DeFi. So a lot of people don't understand this direct one-to-one correlation. Developers need to develop. That's how Luna Classic is going to absolutely stand out and grow tremendously. Which brings me to the point of, okay, what about the current Terra chain? Which again, the fork of the Classic before, we know what happened. So now if we take a look at Terra 2, which again is the fork of Classic, we could see that there's almost $50 million in the DeFi sector here. And we could take a look at what protocols are housing the TVL. So Risk Harbor, Astroport, et cetera. We have, TerraSwap. But again, what we want to look for is see, not necessarily DEXs, because you can fork them very easily, I shall say, if you're a developer using PancakeSwap, or technically using Uniswap. But we want to look for protocols that are offering staking, lending, borrowing, on-chain derivatives, insurance. There's so many different protocols that can be built and should be built on Luna Classic. And that is how the chain is going to essentially revive itself without needing a constant recirculation of the same money in the ecosystem, where, in so many words, the liquidity should be new. It shouldn't constantly be old. The reason why original Terra did so well was because people kept using Anchor because it was so amazing in regards to the yields. New investors and retail investors that didn't even like crypto saw the almost 20% and they said, I want to put it in there, right? Of course, who wouldn't? So something attractive needs to appear like that again. And by the way, to really solidify that point, you can take a look at Avalanche. Avalanche as well, you'll see a direct correlation to the drop off of Avalanche when Wonderland had its whole debacle and everything fell. Why? Because Wonderland was the biggest protocol, DeFi protocol, with the highest TVL, up over $1 billion at one point. But of course, again, we can see that Avalanche will sustain itself over a long period of time because of how many projects are being built on it. And for the record, just to close out this video, to make you really understand, Ethereum has 553 protocols because developers keep building. So the more developers build on chain, Tron doesn't count because Justin Sun inflates Tron's price by continuously printing from their treasury and buying back and burning as he sees fit. Phantom as well is one that constantly keeps fluctuating as more individuals come on, and this is where Andre Cronje is. But again, Luna Classic does have potential. I'm not writing it off in the long term. In the short term, it cannot just be the old Luna Classic or technically the old Luna investors, because that's just rotating money constantly. It's literally just like the recycling bin image. That's what the money looks like when it's rotating. New money needs to come in, but the only way new money comes in is if developers develop different dApps in the ecosystem that are attractive enough for investors to want to put their money into that chain. That's the only way it's going to work. But again, I guess building poop coins on a chain also work, but long term, there needs to be some sort of sustainability with real dApps on Luna Classic. Hope everybody's having a great day. Love you all. Like the video. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. I'll catch you guys soon.